So I'm going to walk through some pretty quick examples, and we can go from there of how to use HTTP. And then you guys are going to have a little demo of, you built the form for the widgets. You have the JSON file. I'm going to show you how to make one quick edit in that file so we can start interacting with it. And then you're going to be posting and getting widgets from that file in that form. Cool? All right, let's do it. So let's talk about getting things with HTTP. So let's just make a new file here. I'm going to call it Reddit. We'll interact with Reddit. So reddit.ts. I don't know if you can tell, but like, it's like really hard for me to type up here because I'm so tall. So that's why I'm like messing up my typing. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and inject, this will be a service. So we'll just say import, we'll come back to that, Angular 2/core. Actually, let's do HTTP here. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and inject HTTP. Pretty simple. And then we'll also import injectable from Angular 2/core. Cool. So we'll just injectable this class called Reddit service. There we go. And then we just need to inject the HTTP in here. So we'll just say private HTTP is HTTP. Pretty simple so far. So now let's just make a method to get some Reddit posts, and let's see, just walking through that and going along with it. So let's just say fetch front page. We'll fetch the front page here, and then what we'll do is we'll say this dot HTTP dot get, and the URL that we want, what is it, reddit.com/.json. Yeah, that's it. So that's the URL that we want. And I'll just go ahead and make a private constant right here. And we want to get this dot Reddit URL. So we got that. And now this returns an observable. So now we immediately call subscribe. Oh, I'm sorry, not subscribe. We're not yet. We want to map. We want to map this thing because the data's coming in a little different. So we want to map it. And why is it freaking out? I think I need to actually import some RxJS stuff in here. Let's see, Rx. Hold on. The Rx story loaded up in Angular 2 right now is kind of wonky. It's not as seamless as it should be. So let me look up the one that I need to import. There we go. Yeah, you got to import the individual operators that you're probably going to be using.
And that's better than importing all 150 of them at once.
That's true. It is better. So now we have the map, and the map is going to get access to the response from the server, which we are then want to get the response.json. So this is going to return the JSON format for us. Again, this is why I think this is based off window.fetch, because if you ever use window.fetch, it's exactly the same way, except for their JSON method returns a promise. But maybe this does too, it could. So we have that, and then now let's just do a subscribe. So remember, let's just test this out. So I'm gonna make this call here. And I'm not going to call subscribe, but we are going to call this method. And let's look at the network tab and see what happens, and see if it actually goes out and fetches and goes to Reddit. And then we'll come back and subscribe and see what's going on. So let's just put this this Reddit class in our app. Reddit service from Reddit. What did I call it? Oh yeah, Reddit. Save. Did I not export? Oh, gotta export it. There we go. Damn, TypeScript is awesome. All right, all right, Lucas, I like it. I like it. All right, so let's just add that to the provider. Boom. And then in app dot, I guess we can just do it right here. So we'll just call it right here in the constructor. Fetch front page. So let's see what happens when we do that. So if this was a promise-based implementation, we would expect this to go fetch this, right? If I call this method, we would expect a network request to be initiated and for this to go. So let's see what happens. And right now, it doesn't want to do anything, so I broke it. All the parameters of the decorated inject have app is decorated with injectable. What? What?
Do you need to type the Reddit service in the constructor?
Oh yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Blame the baklava on that.
Hopefully that's it. Let's see. Refresh. Yep, that was it. Man, TypeScript. Okay, so let's look at the network tab here. See anything to Reddit? No. Let's just filter out. Nope. Let's just refresh just to make sure. Nope, nothing to Reddit. Not there at all. Let's switch it out with a just before we get there, just so we can really see this. I know Chrome, my Chrome has fetch in it, so I'm just gonna say fetch right quick, and we'll just do that. So window.fetch. It actually went there, right? So that's the difference. The observable didn't make the call because we didn't subscribe to it yet. Whereas the promise implementation of fetch did, because as soon as we called it, it went. All right, so that's one big difference. It's important to see that. So let's go back to the observable approach. And now when I call .subscribe, it'll go and actually fetch. So now we'll have the response here. And actually, yeah, we'll just do that. This will be the data actually. And we'll just console.log.bind console. We'll just log it out. Let's see what happens. So let's refresh this. Notice it did initiate the XHR this time. It went and fetched. If we look in the console, we don't see anything because that's probably broken. Let's check that out. There we go. So we get this data back from Reddit with all this crazy stuff on it. All right. So it'd actually be like data. Any questions on that? Everybody understand the difference between how observables are lazy versus a promise implementation? How the promise immediately went when we invoked this function versus observables like, yeah, I get it, but you didn't tell me what to listen to yet. And then on the other side of it, like I said, if we come down here and we say to promise, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to go out and fetch it, or do we still have to call subscribe?
We might have to call that on it.
Let's see. Looks like it went and got it. It's greedy. It turned it to a regular promise. So it literally turned it to a promise, and it evaluated immediately as soon as we invoked the function. So very cool there.